For the longest time, AI was all about answering questions, which was impressive. But real-world problems, they need more than just answers. They need actions. An AI that only talks isn't really that useful in a production environment. So to build AI agents that actually do things, we need a very specific architecture, and today, we're going to break it all down.
So, where does this all come from? The framework we're going to be digging into today is from LeafTech Solutions Learning. It's a really fantastic guide for understanding how modern AI products are actually built, moving us way beyond simple theory and into real-world application.
All right, so here's the game plan. We'll kick things off by looking at the limits of today's AI. Then we'll build our solution with 3 core pillars: RAG for knowledge, tools for action, and MCP for control. And finally, we'll see how it all clicks together in a complete working system.
Okay, let's get into it. First up, the limits of AI. Because, we really have to understand the core problem before we can truly appreciate the solution.
So, let's really think about this for a second. What's holding back those simple chatbots we've all played with? Why don't they actually work in a serious production environment where real business gets done?
And boom, here it is. This slide just nails the problem. Large language models, or LLMs, have 3 fundamental hard limits. First, they have no idea about your company's private, up-to-the-minute data. Second, they can't access live systems. And third, and this is the big one, they can't execute actions safely all by themselves.
Okay, so we've got a problem. That first one, the knowledge gap. How do we fix it? Well, that brings us to our very first pillar, which is all about helping the agent know things. Let's talk about RAG. RAG stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation. What it really is a system that can go out and grab external, private data. We're talking internal documents, company policies, system logs, you name it, and feed it to the AI right when it needs it. This grounds the AI's reasoning in cold, hard facts, so it doesn't just make stuff up.
And I love this analogy. It's a perfect way to picture it. If the base language model is the brain with all its static, pre-trained knowledge, RAG is its external dynamic memory. It gives it access to up-to-the-minute information on the fly, making the agent instantly aware of things it was never trained on.
All right, that's a huge step. Our agent can know things now. But just knowing stuff isn't enough, right? It has to do things. And that brings us to our second pillar, tools, which allow an agent to act.
So when we say tools, what are we really talking about? Well, think of them as the agent's verbs. It's the power to send an email, to query a customer database, to update a support ticket, or to call pretty much any software API out there. It's how the agent actually interacts with and changes the world around it.
Yeah, the analogy here is just perfect. If RAG is the agent's memory, then tools are its hands. This is the piece that lets the system go from just thinking to actually doing.
Okay, but wait a minute. Giving an AI hands sounds kind of scary, right? If you don't control them, things could go very wrong. And this is probably the most critical piece of the whole puzzle for any real business. So let's look at our third pillar, MCP, which provides that essential control.
MCP, it stands for Model Context Protocol. Now, the easiest way to think of it is like the control plane or maybe the official rulebook. It governs exactly how the AI model is allowed to use its tools. It sets the permissions, it checks the AI's intended actions, and only then allows them to run. The model never, ever acts directly.
And if you need one word for it, it's this: governor. The AI model itself doesn't do anything. It just proposes an action, like, hey, I think I should send an email. But MCP is the one that says yes or no and then actually carries it out. This provides a critical layer of safety, security, and traceability. Without it, you've got a risky experiment. With it, you've got an enterprise-ready system.
This table really helps put it all together. You can see how it's a stack, right? At the very bottom, you have your raw APIs, the basic functions of a system. Tools are what wrap those APIs into nice, neat capabilities the agent can understand. And then, sitting right on top, you have MCP, orchestrating and controlling everything. Each layer builds on the last to create a really robust system.
All right, we've got our building blocks: RAG for knowing, tools for acting, and MCP for controlling. Now for the fun part. Let's put it all together and see this thing in action as a complete end-to-end system.
This is it, the complete execution flow, the life of a request from start to finish. It all begins with a user request. The agent figures out the user's intent. If it needs more info, it calls on RAG to get it. Then, with that new context, it figures out what to do next. The model proposes a tool call, which MCP then validates and executes safely. The agent sees the result, and finally, it produces a response for the user.
It's this beautiful, closed-loop intelligence system.
And look, just plugging these things together isn't enough. To make this production ready, you've got to think like an engineer. You need rock-solid safety guardrails. You need to be able to scale for thousands of users at the same time. You need to keep a close eye on costs. And, of course, you need a plan for when things inevitably go wrong.
So if you walk away with one thing, let it be this simple mental model. It's so clear. The model thinks, RAG knows, MCP controls, and tools act. Keeping these responsibilities separate and well-defined is the absolute key to building a stable and powerful AI agent.
This quote, this is just perfect. It gets right to the point. AI agents are not magic. They are engineered systems. That intelligence we're seeing isn't just a fluke coming from the model. It's the direct result of this careful, deliberate engineering, of all these components working together in harmony.
And that really brings us full circle. This whole architecture, RAG, MCP, and tools working together, this isn't some far-off advanced concept anymore. For anyone out there building a real AI product today, this is the new baseline. This is foundational knowledge.